Alright, the second serial of Season 11, Invasion of the Dinosaurs, brings Doctor Who into 1974. This one I've been kind of dreading for a while, for the simple reason that in my entire time as a Doctor Who fan, there have only ever been 3 classic serials that I have started and been unable to finish. One was Ghost Light, because I was still reasonably new to Doctor Who and it just weirded me out. The other one was either the ending to the E-Space trilogy or the Black Guardian trilogy. I can't quite remember which one, simply for the fact that my dad and I got burnt out after watching so much Doctor Who over a single weekend. The third and final one was this one right here. Invasion of the Dinosaurs. While I was the primary DVD collector, my father still had 2 box sets, one of them being Unit Files. Thanks for letting me borrow that one, Dad. We watched a black and white episode 1 and quit after the first dinosaur showed up in the cliffhanger. Eesh. Not out of any form of malice or anything, we just couldn't be bothered continuing. And yeah, the whole black and white episode 1 thing, yeah, that was, I can't be bothered explaining the trivia, but if you look in the comments section, Andrew Bowman's probably filled you in because he's a legend like that, but man, what a very poor first impression. So here I am, over a decade later, delving back into this one and giving it another go. What do I think of it all these years later? Well, you clicked on this video, so you're about to find out. I don't know why I asked such a stupid question, I'm sorry. Okay, I can't even begin to talk about this before tackling the enormous elephant in the room, alright? Because there is just one thing, one element that is so intrinsic to this specific serial that it permeates through every aspect of it. The big thing that you can't avoid thinking about when you talk about Invasion of the Dinosaurs is the dinosaurs themselves. If I may briefly cut them some slack. To be fair, this is a good 19 or so years before Jurassic Park brought dinos to life in stunning detail. So you could forgive them for looking a little bit jank, but these are just bad. I almost convinced myself that they're not that bad for the time, but no, I was just kidding myself. Let's start with the obvious, the design. Just ugly, stilted puppets. For the most part, the puppetry work is fine, but the physical puppets themselves are so amateur. That is until the very end where everything just devolves into pure and utter garbage. Next is the sounds. Sure, nowadays we have those recognizable noises from the Jurassic franchise, like you hear that iconic raptor noise and you're like, ah, yep, that's a raptor, whether it's in Jurassic Park or not. But come on guys, here they could have been so much better if they went for like an animalistic roar instead of just some bloke going Don't even get me started on the flying ones that I think are supposed to be pterodactyls going ah, 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 like crows or something. Seriously? Who looked at like a flying dinosaur and was like, yeah, I bet they sound like a chicken. And finally, the way they behave. They are referred to by several characters as monsters, and yeah, they kind of do act more like monsters than animals with instincts, capable of toppling buildings and crashing through walls with ease. Also, they are impervious to bullets and grenades. Look, the effects are about what you'd expect. If you watch this as part of a Third Doctor marathon, then they're on the goofier side. But heaven forbid, if you're watching this one in isolation, on its own, you better hope that nobody walks into the room and sees you watching it, or you will have some serious explaining to do, and you will have your taste in media questioned for the rest of your life. Now, I want to say that Doctor Who's come a long way in the dinosaur special effects department, but I'll never forget the first time I saw the T-Rex walking through the Thames, and I died a little inside at how bad it looks. Thankfully, there's more than just dinosaurs going on in this story, so I can finally start to talk about the serial itself. Yes, my shirt is backwards, shut up. It starts with the Doctor bringing Sarah back to present-day Earth, only to find that London is deserted. Central London, mind you, is a ghost town rather than the bustly city streets that they normally are. For a 70s TV episode, it's actually got a really cool post-apocalyptic vibe to it. Also, I guess it bears mentioning that there is blood showing on screen for the first time since the Third Doctor's debut story. Moving on from that fascinating bit of trivia that I'm sure you were all dying to hear about, the duo eventually meet up with members of UNIT, and we're shown quite naturally through character dialogue that there's something not quite right, like something fishy's going on here. Someone or some group are pulling some light time travel shenanigans, pulling these dinosaurs out of the prehistoric era and into, well, 70s London, which the Doctor believes is a distraction for something bigger. Also, spoiler alert, is Captain Yates a traitor? Skip to this point here to avoid specific plot details, but in a move I definitely didn't see coming, series regular Captain Yates is revealed to be aligned with the extremist baddies. I was kind of shocked that they would do that to a pretty recognisable reoccurring character, but I didn't really care too much. I'm more of a Sergeant Benton fan myself. I can't imagine anyone getting, like, super upset about it, although, to be fair, this is kind of like the textbook definition of character assassination, just make someone a supposed bad guy out of the blue. Anyway, I'm just glad this wasn't his final appearance in the classic show. Like, I know he goes on to appear in spin-offs, but I'm also glad that he has at least one more appearance in the Pertwee era. Otherwise, this would be, like, just a out of left field bad way to treat a character. Actually, this leads to one of my favourite moments of directing. During a scene where the Doctor is discussing a suspicious sabotage, he moves over slightly, revealing Yates standing just behind his shoulder. What an amazing bit of camera work. Super subtle, yet super effective. And welcome back to all 0 people who skipped the spoiler segment. You're just in time to see the weird, bizarre, out-of-nowhere debut of the Who-mobile. Yes, this odd hovercraft thing was supposedly provided by John Pertwee himself, and initially I was offended, like, where's Bessie? Until I realised that it showed up for one minor scene, and that's it. So far as I know, it never returns in the series ever again. Just John Pertwee's own personal sci-fi looking vehicle making a 30-second cameo in Doctor Who. What is this show? Okay, so, dinosaurs, time travel, one-off weird hover cars, sabotage. This 6-parter has a lot to keep the viewer engaged. Even so, I still recommend taking it at your own pace. For instance, I returned to my tried and true formula of watching the first 3 episodes, having a nap, and then returning to finish the final 3 episodes. Leave me alone, I'm still sick, okay? I won't tell you how the story ends, but given the fact that you don't see dinosaurs walking around London these days, I'm pretty sure you'll guess it eventually. And in the end, there's yet another really good environmental message. Because when you think about it, that was the bad guy's plan all along, was to use time distortion to return Earth to a more natural, healthy way of being. But they were just going about it in the worst, most evil way possible. There's even a line from Sergeant Benton ripped straight out of the 2020 pandemic where he's musing about the fact that I've never seen London so peaceful. And he even saw like some natural wildlife just strolling up the streets. Yep, humans suck, but we can do better. And much like the Green Death, the Doctor has some incredible pearls of wisdom for us. Take the world you've got and try and make something of it. It's not too late. This was 1974, people! For crying out loud, it's not too late, but we are rapidly heading towards an inferno-level end to our planet. Hopefully we're all still here for next week's serial and haven't perished in the heat death of the universe, so you can enjoy my review of Death to the Daleks. Also, this one ends with the Doctor mentioning that he's going to take a trip to planet Florana, so I have to wonder, is he going up against Captain Quark at the end of the Path of Death? If you know, you know, and if you know, you're awesome.